everybody, Ray here, and today we're going to work on the last piece of that entertainment wall that I've been making for my son. If you recall, we did the base cabinet that hangs on the wall, we did 2 floating shelves beside the television, and now the last piece is a long floating shelf which will be the same width as the cabinet down the bottom, which is 78 inches. That will go up above the TV. So the whole unit together is really going to look pretty cool. I'll put those other videos of how I did the other pieces down below. This floating shelf is going to be done a little differently than I did the smaller floating shelves. When you get a floating shelf that's 78 inches long, this is a 1x8 piece of poplar, it starts to get pretty heavy. So in order to get rid of some of that weight, what we're going to do is we're going to make the bottom will be the poplar, which will match the other shelves. But the top is going to be so high, no one is going to see it. So what we're going to do with the top is we're going to put a 1/4 inch piece of plywood, which will be dramatically lighter than this 1x8 piece of poplar. So stick around, I'm going to show you how I do that. I think it's going to be a pretty good project. It'll take a lot of weight out of this unit, and it might be something that you can use on your own floating shelves. And don't forget, if you like these videos, hit that thumbs up for me, will you? It really makes YouTube want to show my videos to more people, and I'd appreciate it. So as I've said, the total width of this shelf needs to be 78 inches. What I did was I cut this centerpiece of the shelf down to 67.5 inches. And I did that because when I put the sides on here to match with the front, I will pick up 3/4 of an inch on each side of this shelf. So my 66.5 inches plus 3/4 on this side and 3/4 on this side gives me the total width of 78 inches that I'm looking for. I used 1x4 poplar for the sides of the floating shelf, and I cut them all to size with 45-degree angles such that they would go around the shelf itself. Now what I have a tendency to do is to cut all these pieces slightly long or slightly fat, however you want to call it, and then come back and just trim off any excess as you need to make sure that you get an exact fit. Now the method for joining these miters that I've come to really like lately is that you take your 2 pieces and you put the edge of the joint together, and then you just run some tape to join them together like that. This keeps your miters nice and tight, and then what we will do is now fold this piece over. I've already done the other end. Make sure the tape stayed nice and tight. Now I can glue that up and just simply fold those miters together, and they'll come together just perfectly. Now we'll go ahead and apply some wood glue here, and I'm going to apply the wood glue kind of to the center. And the reason I'm going to do that is because in order to get this thing just to sort of set up pretty quickly for me here, so I can work with it a little bit and not worry about it flopping around, is on the other side, on each side, I'm going to put a little drop of CA glue. Now I've already sprayed some accelerant on this side, so it'll be ready to go, but it won't take much. Just a little drop of CA glue right there and right there. Hope you can see that past my hand. Now when I fold this up, that joint will go right where it's supposed to go because that's where the tape holds it. I can just hold that now for 10 seconds. That CA glue will dry very quickly and hold that in place while the other glue dries. And then if I choose, I can still add a pin nail to that. But essentially, that's pretty stable already. So that tape method just really makes an exceptionally tight miter join. The other thing you might notice here is that when you're cutting pieces that are going to join together, cut them from the same part of the board. So what happens is the grain then looks like it just runs together from that miter. And if this was going to sit up on a desk, for example, or something like that, this would be what they call the waterfall look, because it looks like the water's just traveling this way and then dropping off the side of the board. And all those grains match up very nicely. It's a very pretty look. I always find that these stickers that they put on the lumber at Home Depot are just a real pain in the butt to get off. They just sort of tear and shred. You try to pick them off with your fingernail, and just look at that. It's just really hard to get them off. Well, what I've found is just take a heat gun or a hair dryer or anything that will blow hot air on there, and just heat that up so you kind of get that glue underneath warm. And then if you want to peel it off, see, it'll peel off a whole lot easier like that, and it doesn't leave as much residue that you have to go in there and clean up with mineral spirits or something else. See, that comes off pretty clean. For the next step, what we're going to do is join the bottom of this shelf to the sides. We're going to do that with pocket hole screws. What that'll do for us is it'll give us a nice tight joint. It'll be on the inside of the box, so you'll never see it. The other thing it will do is this board here is just very slightly warped, maybe a 1/16 of an inch or so, right along this part right here. When I put those pocket screws in here, it'll pull that board nice and tight and flush. So I'm going to mark this off to where I want my screws. I'll put the pocket hole screws in, and then I'll bring you back. I drilled pocket holes for screws about every 16 inches on the long side of the shelf board. To get my hole for my pocket screw in on the end of the boards, because the board is so long, I actually just had to set my jig on the floor and then sort of balance the board up against my tabletop here, and then I could get it in the ends just fine. Sometimes you have to be just a little creative about how you're going to get things done. Now the face of this shelf is a 1x4, so it is 3.5 inches in width. It gets screwed on to the 1x8. So on the inside here, this now is only 2 3/4 inches deep, because you lose 3/4 of an inch when you attach it to this 1x8 in the back. So what we have here is a 1x3, and of course a 1x3 is 2.5 inches thick. We said we had 2 3/4 inches of depth here, and we have 2.5 inches depth here. So our 1/4 inch plywood will fit on here just perfectly and be just about even with the top of the side here. This will be attached to the wall. So if the wall was here, this is how this will be attached. It will be attached with either toggle bolts, or if I can get into the studs, I'll attach it directly to the studs. These are connected, these struts here are connected each with 2 pocket hole screws into the backboard. There are also pocket holes in the sides here of each one of these struts. So when this is put onto the wall, then what we will do is we will come up underneath it with the shelf, and then I will screw the pocket hole screws into this part of it to hold the bottom of the shelf securely up to the frame here. Once that's all in place, then we can drop in our 1/4 inch pieces of plywood. And I had to cut 2 pieces of plywood so it would be long enough. So our 1/4 inch plywood will fit right in here, and then one of these struts is right under the center. So that 1/4 inch will fit in here just like this. It will nestle in there very nicely. It's a little bit bowed right now, but once we get it in there and brad nail it, it'll be perfect. Now there's about, I'd say maybe a 32nd of an inch between the top of this board and the top of the plywood, which is just fine. because if we had the plywood higher than this board and we wanted to try to sand it down, that would not go well, sanding down this little thin piece of plywood. So the dimensions of this lumber worked out really well, going from 3.5 inches, taking away the 3/4 inch when we put the bottom in, and then our frame being 2.5 inches wide, and then that left a perfect 1/4 inch for our panel to sit on top. So this is working out pretty well. We mounted the shelf up on the wall with 4 toggle bolts, ensuring that it was level. Then we held the shelf up from underneath the frame. We used our pocket hole screws to attach the frame to the bottom of the shelf. Each arm of the frame was attached to the bottom using 2 screws. We pre-drilled and countersunk holes into the 1/4 inch panels that would be the top of the shelf, and then we attached them to the frame using 1/2 inch screws. This is the old stand that they originally had the television on. In the first part of this, we built a nice floating cabinet to go below the television. Then we added 2 small floating shelves to the side of the television, and then followed that up with 1 long floating shelf that went up above the television. I think you'll agree it looks much better. In this video, we showed you how to hang a really wide floating shelf and to take some weight out of that shelf by using a 1/4 inch piece of plywood as the top part of the shelf. It really worked well. In the video prior to that, I showed you how to hang smaller floating shelves like the ones that are next to the TV. And then in the video prior to that, I showed you how to make a wide and deep floating cabinet that we hung using French cleats. So I've shown you 3 different styles of making a floating cabinet and 2 floating shelves, and also 3 different ways to hang those floating cabinets and shelves. I hope one of these will work for you. The other 2 videos I'll put in the link down below in the description in case you'd like to see them. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, don't forget, hit me with that thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.